All right, guys. I hope you guys are doing your drills, fixing your backlift. Today, I kind of want to talk to you guys about fielding. This is something that I feel is something that I've always been good at. Uh, Instinctively, naturally, it just comes to me. Uh, the reason being, um, and I not being cocky here, but um, I've always been more of an athlete my whole life. I I was doing karate since the very young age. I've been playing cricket, although street cricket, for the first 14 years of my life. But in Canada, I've committed towards fitness for cricket. Um, and so fielding is something that comes naturally to me. So let's start with the reason fielding is important. Okay, so the reason fielding is important, and can tell you from personal experience, I've been an average bowler in teams, I've been an average batsman in teams, but I've always been a really good fielder, whatever team that I've played for, whether it's combined schools, whether it's intercities, under 16s, under 19s, whether it's Alberta under 19s, Skona, doesn't matter. Whatever team I've played for, my strength has been my fielding. Okay, because no matter what you're good at, what you specialize in, which is two things, either a batsman or a bowler, you got to be a good fielder. I'll give you example of Jadeja, right? So Ravindra Jadeja, why does he get picked over Ashwin? Well, he's a wonderful fielder. He will save you runs in the field. He will take those catches that change the momentum of the game. Um, and he's a handy batsman. He's a handy bowler. He's not a great at either of those, but he's one hell of a fielder. Okay, and again, I'm gonna use even in baseball, right? People get picked just for their outfielding, right? There's people who have full MLB careers just based on their fielding. Okay, so let's take fielding seriously. It's very important. A base you need to have to be a good fielder is fitness. You don't need to be a big muscular guy, but you gotta be fast. You gotta be agile. You gotta be explosive. Okay, so these are the things you need to work on to improve your fielding. How can I be more agile? How can I have quicker reactions? How can I anticipate better? How can I make sure I'm getting in the positions better? Right? That is what fielding is about. So work on those things. That's the base you need to be a good fielder. Otherwise, you cannot be that amazing of a fielder. You might be good with reflex catches, but you're never going to be top notch fielder. And no matter where your fitness level is, it's just about improvement. It's not about perfection. It's just about improvement. You're just working on it, right? If you get there, great. If not, hey, you're at least going to improve. You're going to be better than what you were before. Okay, so start that with a base, and then comes the concepts. So let's say if you're fielding, so your position matters. Okay, how you're standing when the bowler is running in is important. If you are too wide, okay, let me put the laptop back a little bit further. Okay, if your fielding stance is too wide, right, you might see some guys in slips, they're standing like this, right? That's way too wide. Do you see my base is way too big? When the base is way too big, it gives you stability, right? And from my karate days, this is the stance that my sensei would tell me to get into, because you are strong. You cannot move. It gives you stability, it gives you strong base. But this is way too strong of a base. Second thing I see, people using their hands like this. Okay, if you're using your hands like this, you have to take your hands off of your legs first and then reach for the ball. No, a good stance, it cannot be too narrow. I see some people and they stand like this. You're like a tree, right? You can fall over. So, decent stance, comfortable stance. It can, for most people, I would say it's the same stance you use for batting, because that's the width that you're comfortable with. It's the same stance you use for squatting, right? If you work out, if you ever squatted anything, a bar or a barbell, it's the same stance. For me, my squat stance is a little bit wider. My fielding stance is a little bit smaller. Stance matters. Number 2, it's about focusing your attention as soon as the bowler starts running in. You cannot be looking at trees and other players and whatever it is. The moment the bowler is at the start of his run-up, your focus is just towards. So what I've been taught by Mike Young, he was the Australian coach that came back in the under 19 days. He told us, you gotta make a box. Okay, so if I'm a batsman, you're watching me as a fielder. Okay, you're at covers, you're watching me as a fielder. Make a box around there somewhere. Okay, so wait, actually cut that out. If you're at cover, so different positions, most likely. So if you are in front of the bat, if you're at covers, the most likely shot a batsman's gonna be hitting is a cover drive, right? That's the most common shot that he's gonna be hitting. So you cannot be looking at his face while the region where he's going to be playing that shot is going to be down here. So your focus needs to be, first of all, close to the bat, but not only just at the bat. This is when the bowler's at his run-up, start looking in that box. Make that box and start looking there. Just your attention is you're just looking there. Okay. Obviously, if you're at slips, the outer edges matter a lot. You want to focus on the outer edge of the batsman, because that's where the ball's going to be hitting, and that's where it's going to be coming to you quickly, right? But if you know where it's going to be coming from, you got to follow the bat, and you got to follow the outer edge of the bat. If you're in front, you gotta look at the face of the bat, right? That's where the batsman's gonna be hitting from. That's where it's gonna be coming to you. And this is very important when you're in the outfield as well. Okay, this is not just for infield. When you're in the outfield, you cannot be just standing there like an idiot, whatever, in your own thoughts, singing or whatever. You can sing and whatever, that's fine, have fun. But when the bowler is at the start of the run-up, your focus is just there. You're looking at the batsman, you're seeing what's going on, and again, anticipate what shot is he gonna hit that's gonna bring the ball to you. Okay, and the reason why I say that is when the bowler's coming in, if you see that the bowler has bowled it short, you can anticipate, okay, this might be coming towards me because the bowler has just bowled it short. That's how you anticipate while you're in the outfield. It's very similar when you're in the infield as well. You got to anticipate what has the bowler just bowled. What is the batsman most likely to do? Is it going to come to me? Okay, that's how you anticipate. So you got to have a base of fitness, of agility, of movement to be a good fielder. You got to have a good stance. You got to have anticipation. This comes from practice. This comes from, I mean, if you are playing even a T20 and the whole 20 overs is bowled, that's still, you're practicing the skill 120 times, right? So that's that 120 times you just practice the skill, and if you practice something over and over and over, you get better and better and better at it because you understand what you have to do, what you're trying to do. So base of fitness, stance, anticipation, agility. What else? Let me think about this. Okay, so different kinds of positions require different kinds of skills. If you're in the outfield and you're a terrible catcher, buddy, you need to work on your catching. Number one, the bang for your buck if you're in the outfield is you gotta you gotta anticipate, you gotta run, you gotta change directions, and you gotta get in the position to take that catch and actually take it and keep it and hold on to it. Right? Catching matters. Catching really matters. Actually, whether you're in the outfield or not, but it's important a lot to take high catches when you're an outfielder, right? So this is where you can specialize, even in fielding, right? I have decent reflexes. I wouldn't say I have the best reflexes, but I have decent reflexes. However, I am quick and I anticipate really well. These are my strengths when I'm fielding. So I specialize. I'm a way better outfielder than I'm an infielder. Okay, I practice my high catching a lot. I practice movements and directions and how to chase a ball, how to cut the ball off, slidings, stuff like that, more than I practice my diving. Right? If you are in slips, you got to really practice your diving. You're in slips. That is your role. You got to instantaneous reactions as well as diving. Keeper, same thing. You got to know how to dive if you're a keeper. If you cannot dive as a keeper, you're not going to be a good keeper. Okay? So specialize in that and think, okay, if this is where I'm fielding, normally this is where I feel, this is what I got to be good at. I know you guys have lost a lot of games last season because of catching. So that is one thing I want you guys to focus on is catching. Become good at it. Keep soft hands. Half of the battle with catching is just fear. Okay, you gotta let go of that fear of the ball. You gotta, when international batsmen play, those balls are getting hit way faster. But why don't fingers break? Right? If you're scared, oh, my fingers are gonna break if I mess up or whatever, and sometimes it will happen. You will create that just because you're thinking that. Okay, so fear is what is stopping you from actually catching it well. If you just stay calm, watch it all the way, have good technique, start slowly, right? Just understand, how are you catching the ball when it's this slow? It is the same concepts, the same motions, the same things you're going to be doing when you catch a ball that's coming extremely quickly. It's the same, you're using the same concepts. It's just quicker, and you gotta be watching it very closely, right? You gotta be moving with it, you gotta be watching it very closely, but the concepts remains the same. So learn, even if you're just at home, learn how to take it, not pushing at it. Learn how to take it in where you're kind of canceling out the motion of the ball, right? Which is what's going to hurt. If you cushion it well, if you know how to cushion it well, some people like to take it in, some people it's just a wrist moment, but it's just a very well timed wrist moment. Okay, so this movement is what's required. You want to cancel out. So again, we'll go with physics. There's the ball's coming in at a certain force, certain speed. To not get hurt, you got to make sure you are canceling out that speed, that velocity through, and that energy actually gets dispersed through your muscles, through your body. Okay? If this is quick, it kind of, right? It's, if this is stiff, if you're catching with stiff hands, that energy cannot be transferred out through your arms, through your body, and that's why it causes pain. Because then it's what's a good example? It's like when a ball kind of gently drops into the water, right? It's just like bloop, versus a ball hitting a wall, right? Just gently dropping in the water, it's gonna be easier for you to just kind of catch it. That's kind of what you're trying to do. You're just in. That's the motion. That's what you got to do when you're catching, and you got to practice that. You got to practice that, practice that, practice that. Start slow, build up speed, build up technique, build up all those things. It doesn't hurt if your technique is good. It doesn't hurt if you're working towards it. From telling you from first-hand experience. Okay, so we covered quite a bit today. Another thing that fielding will do is it will buy you guys a little bit of time. So you guys are young right now, and if you really enjoy playing cricket and you plan to play this for longer than just your school years, you'll be playing for other teams at some point, and you might integrate, or you might make your own team, whatever, doesn't matter. But what fielding does is it gives, actually no, not that fielding gives you time. Poor fielding takes away time and trust of a captain from you and your abilities. Okay, you could be the best batsman in the team. You could be someone who is just amazing, has a great average, great technique, can do a lot with the bat. But if you're a poor fielder, amazing batsman but poor fielder, you're just a few bad performances away from getting either demoted or having your spot taken over by someone who's a better fielder than you. Right? He might be he might be a little less of a batsman than you are skills wise, but if you are specializing only as a batsman and your fielding is absolutely terrible, you'll be expendable faster than someone who's a good fielder but an average batsman. Okay, ask any captain, and I've seen this happen myself in many teams that I've played for over the years. Sooner or later, if you are a poor fielder, whatever captain, even if you yourself are the captain and you're a poor fielder, you even though it gets challenged. Okay, so fielding matters because that is something that is everyone in the team needs to be good at. So if you're already really good at that, where everyone needs, it's an equalizer, right? Everyone has to field no matter what. It's an equalizer, and that's why if you're a good keeper but a crappy batsman, if you're an amazing keeper but an average batsman, your spot will still be there in the team always. Why? Well, you're the keeper, man. You're the best keeper we have. Fielding is an equalizer when it comes to cricket. You gotta start by being a good fielder. Okay, so I hope this kind of helps you guys develop your game a little bit further, and this is something that's a base. You need that. Whether you're trying to get selected for any teams in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, it doesn't matter. You could be one heck. You could be bowling 140 kilometers per hour, but if you're dropping, a catch or two and missing runouts or misfielding, it's sooner or later it's gonna come back, and it's gonna be the reason for your downfall. So um focus on it, learn, train on it. I told you guys few basics that you can already start thinking and applying in your own games when it comes to it, and it's more just about awareness than anything else. And practicing the technique for ground fielding, for catches, for flat catches, all different trajectories, understanding how the ball behaves, what you need to do depending on the trajectories of the ball. If it's high, there's different skills that get involved. If it's flat, different skills get involved. Ground fielding is different. Infielding is different than outfielding. All of these skills, little by little, but set your intention straight, and make fielding your priority. That is needed. Okay. Okay. Have fun. Hope that helped you guys out, and have fun.